Hello and welcome to Yasser TV. Welcome back to the channel. We're back. Morgan Rogers to Chelsea. We got the Ornstein bomber. And well, this is what we're going to be talking about. Now, make sure you're liking and subscribing. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. Obviously, we ain't signed no player, so there's nothing to do this for. But yeah, I'm a little bit happy, and I'll explain why. But before I really get into it, like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about the signing. It is big news for Chelsea and Chelsea fans, but I want to be honest and give you my opinion and views about this signing. Now, let's actually get into it. There we go. This is the bomber. We literally received this 10 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Probably just over 10 minutes ago. And my thoughts, it's obviously the David Ornstein dropped. Chelsea reached verbal agreement with Aston Villa to sign Morgan Rogers. Bid of £117 million accepted by Aston Villa and being finalised. 6 plus 1 year deal. So his contract 6 years plus 1 year contract, so it can be extended. Medical on Monday. Aston Villa interested. Arsenal interested, but 23-year-old attacker wanted Chelsea. Xabi Alonso was instrumental. Obviously, we could say we hijacked Arsenal, but there's a few aspects that I like, and there's a few aspects from this that I don't like. Let's go into the aspects that I like in it. I've always said we needed a ball carrier, someone, a bit of pace in midfield, someone that can take the ball forward, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I do think Morgan Rogers is a good player, but if you have asked me what I think his value is, yeah, like how much would I pay for Morgan Rogers if I had the money, or if I was one of the directors, whatever, yeah, it would be probably between 65 and 85 million, in my opinion. Yeah. Now, £117 million, yeah, for Morgan Rogers is crazy money, bro. I remember when people said 800 million for Grealish was crazy, or 60. Now you're looking around for like the £60 million for Cunha looks very, very cheap. All of a sudden, some of those deals that you make look very cheap compared to this one, innit? But like I said, in some ways, I don't necessarily care about the money as much. I care more about what it's going to do in the pitch for us. Is this actually a move that's going to take us forward? Or is it a move that's you spend a lot of money, there's so much pressure on the player, but you don't really see anything from it? And those are some of my worries. But then you go into the second aspect. The second aspect, obviously, is we know why they're signing him. And it's not necessarily to play in the 10, but it's for him to play off the left. And in some ways, I don't like that, because he's not an out-and-out left winger. And I said the same about Eze. People that watch the channel know I said the same about Eze. We knew why Arsenal were linked to him, because he can play those, he can cut in from the left, he can play off the left, he can play in the 10. But he's not really a left winger that can play in the 10. He's not that kind of player. He's more of a 10 that can play out wide, but he could do a job out wide. And if there's a lot of space, he can cut into that space. But how many times is he going to take his football? How many times is he going to take go on the outside of the fullback? It's not, because you know where these players are going to go. They're going to try to cut in every single time. That's their thing. Now, you could say that we have a different options in a Gittins who doesn't mind going on the wider and on the outside and on the inside, yeah? But if you're trying to get a left winger, that's the kind of player like you get in it. Someone that is really just an out-and-out winger. Yeah, that's always been my personal preference. I've always said that that's the way I would have gone. And I don't necessarily like those players that can do a job off the left, and then some people think they're left wingers. They treat them like they're left wingers, but they're not really left wingers, innit? And then when they're not performing on the left, people start saying things like, play him in his position then, play him in his position, or play him in, all that kind of stuff. But that's my reasons as to why I think about Morgan Rogers, innit? I think he, obviously just coming from England, semi-finals, I think he played on the right wing. Yeah, so he got the call ahead of Saka and Madueke. In my opinion, didn't necessarily have the greatest of games, but he was involved in the assist to Gordon. Um, and I think he had a little period where he didn't score for Aston Villa as well. So yeah, he could cut in and he has a good shot on him and stuff like that. And he can offer us something that a lot of people in our team right now can't offer us, especially 49. But other than that, listen, I don't know what to say in terms of the level of player that we're bringing into Chelsea. These are the players that we've always said, yo, bring the proven Premier League players into our team, innit? We're kind of tired of bringing in young players for no reason, but he's someone that's played for Aston Villa now for 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, at least, or three. But we've known him for the last 2 seasons, been his thing. And other than that, it's what he can offer us at this moment in time. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we lost Santos, so you had to bring a midfielder, but he's not necessarily the same profile as Santos. So we don't know who's going to replace the Santos yet. This could be the move to push a Garnacho out of the door, because now he knows that there's a player that's going to be in his position. We know that Chelsea were interested in Morgan Rogers from last season, if I'm not mistaken. I remember last summer we inquired and wanted to see how much they wanted, and they went from 80 million to 100 million, and then we said nope. You know what I mean? So he's managed to get a season under his belt now, and maybe you are getting a better player than if you bought him last season for 100 million or whatever it was. Yeah. So from that aspect, great. Obviously, we've also hijacked Arsenal. That's like a bonus. But if he feels like Chelsea, then it doesn't matter that we hijacked Arsenal. But we know the use that they wanted him for was exactly what they wanted to do with Eze, and then it never ended up working out. Which is, oh, let's play him on the left, and then when it doesn't work out, you just think, okay, you know what? We'll just revert to playing whoever was playing on the left before. So I'm not like, I feel like if you asking me like in certain details, like in general, I think is a good signing, just in general. But if we need to get into, if I have to be specific and you want me to nitpick, then obviously I'm gonna start saying things like I feel like we've overpaid. It's another signing that we bought in before getting defenders. We haven't yet heard fully confirmation that obviously Chalaba's leaving. We heard that it could be done with Como, but we haven't got that confirmation yet. Obviously Santos has left, and I think funnily enough today played his first game in terms of preseason for United. So this is essentially our first big signing. I know, yeah, you say big signings, 100 million, but one of the main incomings of the season. Yeah, Omega's coming, Kwanda's coming, and some other players have come in into the team. But this is what we do, like what we think in terms of coming in. We've also a lot of Chelsea fans would tell you that when we saw the news for him going to Arsenal, we kind of was like, well, we thought Chelsea were very, very interested in him. Similar to what we hearing now in terms of what's going on with the Water news. We heard about this. We constantly heard, he's one of our main targets. Chelsea loves Morgan Rogers. They think he could do a lot for our team. We've heard those rumors and things before. So this is not necessarily new. But to hear it now when we didn't hear anything for a while, and it looked like it was almost done in terms of Arsenal, that was I didn't expect that, to be fair. So yeah, like, and I can also show that to you as well, yeah. That 17th of July, the Hand of Arsenal tweeted that Arsenal and Aston Villa are engaging in club-to-club talks for the transfer of Morgan Rogers. Senior members from both clubs are in direct contact. Personal terms are no issue. So it kind of started to look like it was going in that direction. You know what I'm saying? It looked like it was going in that direction. So it's one of those for me, yeah, where eh, like, yeah, so maybe they are working quietly in the background with certain things, and yeah, we haven't heard as much news in terms of, like, not a lot of briefs like we used to, and then all of a sudden get hit with something like this. But then again, for you to bid 170 million, you don't know whether it's careful planning at the behind the scenes, or you just turned up and heard that 116 was accepted for Arsenal, and then you turned up and just said 117. You know what I mean? We got 117. Do you want it? And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, actually, I wanted to go Chelsea anyway. You know what I mean? So you never know exactly what's going on. Because before this signing, if this, we're obviously gonna wait until we hear the whole full story, medical and everything. But until all that's done, you never know. You could turn around and it doesn't happen, and then disappointment. You never know, innit? Because obviously all these journalists like to say things from early usually, but you know, it's just one of those things. Other than that, let me know what you guys think. Will he actually take us forward? Will he be someone that's very instrumental in our midfield or out wide? Is he going to be someone that's going to be taking a little bit of load away from a Palmer? We got two people that do the court celebration now, you know. So we bought it to one club. Imagine both of them do it together. But from this, like I want to know you guys' thoughts on it, because from here on, is it going to be? Is it going to be one of those where if you play 2 10s, is he going to be that left 10 and Palmer the right 10? Like, there's so many little different things that we're trying to understand. Obviously, I haven't watched the game against, is it Crawley Town or something? Whatever we played behind closed doors. I think Gittins, Delap, and someone else. I think Omega scored from what we read. But that's obviously behind closed doors. We'll wait for some of the other games to come up, and then we'll see what we're talking about. Like I said, I'm still going to be reserved. I need to see what happens in the rest of the window. Personally, hopefully we didn't blow most of our budget on this brother in the hopes that he just helps us. You know what I mean? Because that means that's an L. But listen, it's another step in the right direction. But there's some glaring issues in our team, like I said, in the defense that we need to be fixing. And I thought someone like a Lacroix would have been done by now, considering France has been out of the World Cup. I know they're still playing England today for third place and some other stuff, but those are, you know, when the World Cup ends or when this game ends, we need to start hearing some accelerations on a Lacroix, because defense is something that we really need to be sorting out. Way more than the midfield, way more than the attack. As much as people like to talk about it, a main thing that's kind of held us back now for, I don't know, 2 seasons is the defense. So that's something that we definitely need to be fixing. And the goalkeeper situation. Obviously, there's more news about the Chavaria guy. And I'll do a different stream. I was thinking of doing a stream today anyway. We'll do a stream in regards to that. Later on, we'll talk about that in a bit. But other than that, listen, bro. We got a signing, but I'm going to be reserved throughout this, because there's a lot of other positions that we need to be sorting out before I start looking at one signing and saying the season's turned around. Now, I'm also happy that Xabi Alonso was instrumental in bringing in a Morgan Rogers. It shows what a manager can bring in terms of his pool. But like I said, there's more we need to see. There's more we need to see from this. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know it's going to be a little bit of a long one, but I wanted to let you guys know my opinion, my thoughts about this signing. I know a lot of people are just going to be like, yo, you hijacked Arsenal and it's a great signing. You're going to hear Arsenal fans say, well, he wasn't really what we needed anyway, because then Berta would have got him. Like, whatever it is that people say in it. But in my opinion, I personally think we should just, let's see what else we do in it, because it's all nice to overgas things, but if it's not the things that you need, then it's not necessarily the greatest thing in it. That's all it is. But big up to everyone that's watched. I appreciate you all. You guys already know we're on the way to 2K. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below. And your boy's out.